and will incur a 1 cent per minute charge if you continue. You can hang up now to avoid the charge.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash. If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please wait and you will be joined into the conference. Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your PIN, thank you.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the first broadcast of Real Estate Investor Army, REIA.biz. Our purposes, cancel, clearboard. Our purposes in this training session. Let me get rid of Okay, so our purposes in the Army: first, educate on process. Second, ethics. Third, lead. Is it a deal? This one is critical. And then fourth, contract, market, and sell. So the way we do this, the first step in the process is to remember it is not about making money. Anything that starts with money, money is last. And I know most of you are saying, no, money is how I eat. Yes. But we must always remember, and this isn't about religion, it is not, the phrase is not money is the root of all evil. The phrase is the love of money. If money is all you're focused on, you will never get it. It won't happen. If you help people and communities, that will result in money. I don't know what the heck just happened here, but okay. So, real estate investing is effectively described as a funnel. There are 3 buckets after the funnel. So these is all the ways that you're advertising your properties, your marketing, not even your properties, all the way you're advertising to your sellers. You're just filling up the front end of the funnel. And let's say you start out with 100 to 500. Let's say you start with 100. The front end of your funnel. Your first phase of the funnel is basics. Basic info. Which 9 times out of 10 boils down to the numbers. Okay, I'm a little ahead of myself. Basic info. This is things like contact, address, like that. Then you have your web info. This is things like Google Maps, Zillow, whatever you can find out about the address through public sites. What? Never mind. Family issue. Then you do, usually I say you do basic numbers next. Then you do the interview. And then you update the numbers again. So we have, this is general market. This is basically step 0. This is things like your bandit signs, your direct mail, your Google ads, your Zillow ads, your whatever. Step 1 is basic info. Somebody has somewhere along the line said, hey, here's a property you should begin looking at. Step 2 is you go online and you find out everything you can about the property. Step 3 is you run the formulas. Step 4 is you interview the seller. Step 5 is you revise your numbers. Now, out of that, they're going to end up in a likely, unlikely, impossible. Or, impossible is not the right word. Creative. The likely ones are going to be the easy home runs. You're going to call that seller up right that day, and you're going to make a deal with them. That deal is going to be a winner no matter what happens. Unlikely, it's marginal. You're going to call the seller up and you're going to find out if the deal will still work. And creative is you got to find out how willing the seller is to do something fun. So let's start with an example deal. Let's say we have a house, and we'll stay with single families for now. We'll stay with flips for now. You have a house. Let's say the ARV is $210,000. And let's say it needs, let's say the ARV is 210. First thing you do is you multiply that, and this depends a little bit, but you always multiply it by somewhere around 0.7. Gives you 140K. Now, you know you're going to sell it for 210. Your realtor, when it gets sold to the end buyer, you may say to yourself, oh, I'm the wholesaler, I don't have a realtor. You got to think like your client. When your client sells it to the end buyer, they're going to have a realtor and a transfer of about 8%. So let's say that's 15 grand. So that's minus 15K. Now, when you take possession of the property, that's not free. Your purchase depends on the market, but let's just say 5 grand. My market's a little smaller, so let's say 5K. So that leaves me with 130K. Now this is before we've done anything to it. Now let's say the taxes and the insurance is 3K a year. And let's say we're expecting to hold the property for 4 months. So it's 1/3 of 3K, it's 1K. Now you can have utilities. Again, you're going to say to yourself, hey, I'm a wholesaler. You have to think like your end buyer. That is always our song. We think like our clients. Your utilities are going to be, say, let's say 2K. So to save space, we'll call that one, turn that 1 into a 3. So this is what we call our holding cost. pretty generously low holding cost, honestly. This is our purchase in Realtor. So we have $127K to spend on that house. Now, I'll try to do this without getting rid of what's already there. Space here any bigger. The base are any bigger. So this is selling cost, this is purchase cost, this is holding cost. We then bring it back up, 127K. Now, let's look at our repairs. If our house is, say, 3K square feet, depending on your market, let's say you can do a paint and a flooring for $8 a square foot. 3,000 times 8 is 24K. 103K. We've done our basic cosmetics for that. Then we need a kitchen. Every market's different. You never know exactly, but let's say 5 for the kitchen. Cabinets, countertops. Pretty simple. Let's say that becomes 8 when you put appliances in it. And that's for our kitchen. And if we have 2 bathrooms, I can usually flip a bathroom for about $3,000. I have a spreadsheet for this. I will show you that in another few minutes. But I'm doing thumbnail sketches. $3,000 for your bathroom. So what I'm going to do this again to save space. I'm going to turn the 8 plus 3 into kitchens and bathrooms for 11. Now, we have windows. An average house has 20 windows. Most houses need them all done. I can get them done for about $220 a piece. That's 100, 4,400. So windows and exterior, I almost get $5,000 an exterior in every house. Minus 9 for windows and exterior. So we've done our cosmetics, our kitchen, bathroom, our windows and exterior. So 103 minus 20 leaves us with 83,000. Now obviously you want a pad on top of that. So let's say you want your pad to be, well, 10%. 24,000 plus another 20 is 44,000. 10% would be 4,000, so let's call it 5K. You don't want to skimp at this stage and say, I think I'm okay. You want a little extra room here. So 83 minus 5. I gotta try to skimp on some space here. 83 minus 5 for 77. Great. Maximum allowable offer for that property is 77,000. Except a lot of buyers, especially now, aren't going to want to take their interest out of that 70, out of this 40 grand, this 70 grand here. They might not. So that's 77 plus 44, so it's 110. So that could be another 11,000 you might have to take off the backside. But let's say they pay their interest out of this money here. On a smaller deal, they wouldn't have the room to, but on this deal, they probably have the room to. Okay, so 77. Now, if you were the end buyer, 77 is not a bad deal in that house. Let's remember. 77, 24, plus 44, plus 23, $40, $50, $70, $147K. So we're actually a little higher than we should. I must have messed something up somewhere in there. 147K, you're selling for 210. So you're okay. You're still safe. But you are a wholesaler. You need to take a wholesale fee out of that. Let's just say 7K. So you need to get it for no less, no more than 70K. That's the most you can spend. That's the most you can put that deal under contract for. So your max spend depends on your buyer's strategy. Now, very similar property. Let's look. This is the exact same property, actually. Let's say this house would rent for $1,500 a month. And let's say we've determined the taxes and insurance is $3,000. So let's just say $300 for tax insurance. It's a single family. Let's say another 100 other. Garbage fees, sewer fees, other crap the town won't let you let go of. So you have $1,100 a month, clear money. Clear money. Now, this is where we start talking about cap rates. If that property clears you $1,100 a month, there's two things you haven't done. We'll put $1,500 down here, small numbers. I like a maintenance vacancy management pad. I like a pad for money that'll pay my management company, a pad of money to pay my crew for maintaining the place, and a pad of money to keep me from going drowning if we have vacancy. In my world, that's 30%. So it's $500. Some people's world, that's a lot less. Most people would do 200. So let's just say 300. It's called MVM, Maintenance Vacancy Management. 800. So my clear, if I want a 10% return on my money, if I want a 10 cap, it is, well, to be clear, we have to do this annual. So 1,100 times 12. I'm going to use a calculator and cheat on this one because I can't do my brain right now. It's 13. So this deal is making me $13,200 a year, which I then will divide by my cap rate, which I can tell you right now is $132,000. That is the finished value of that as a rental property. 800, I can tell you, is $9,600 a year, which is $96K. So in a 10% market, I can spend finished, my finished value on that property, after I've fixed it, after I've done everything to it. Just about half what the ARV was in my hypothetical example. Now, the difference between this and this is the difference between an MLS and a wholesale. All day long, the seller's going to sell for this number. Not all day long are they going to sell for this number. Now, let's just take that 96K and go back and remember the repairs that we had over here before added up to $44,000. Now obviously markets are different. You might not need to spend 44 to do it. But if you do, now first of all, if you do, that comes off this 96. Cap rate told you the best case scenario, the top amount this property is worth. That's $52,000. Now, you still got to take into account at least the buying side. You're not going to resell it through a realtor, but you're going to need to spend that $5,000 up front to buy it. And you need to spend that, whatever it was, $4,000 to hold it. So 52 minus 9, 43. Now, I want to make some money as a wholesaler. Maybe not as much, let's say I want to make $5,000. Now I'm making an offer, a max allowable offer of $38,000. This is where, when we go to our funnel, running our numbers is critical. Knowing our numbers is critical. You must understand your buyer needs. So the step one of a deal mix, the deal funnel, is advertising. Getting the lead. And as we all know, leads turn into deals. If you look at the words, all you got to do is move the letters around. Leads and deals are the same word mixed up. The second, from your basic facts, you estimate value. As a rent and as a flip. There are other ways you do it, but you start with that. Third, talk to the owner. So, what do we want you to be doing right now at REIA? You want to find motivated sellers. That's the first thing you want to do. Everyone sits and says, what, don't I need buyers first? I won't disagree with those people who say you should have a buyer's list first. Let me ask you this, and I'll give you an example right now from my own experience. I went hunting for buyers for gas stations. Because a friend of mine told me he had a gas station to sell. Turns out, he didn't actually have a controller. So I now have secured a buyer, fully qualified, recommended by another friend of mine, and I don't have the product to give. How long is that buyer going to hang around? How long is that buyer going to trust me? So I believe in getting some deals under contract as bait for the buyer. It might be a deal they want, but it's mostly a bait to get them in the door. There are 3 great ways to get your leads on buyers and sellers. Bandit signs are nice. They're a lot of work. They're not loved by the people in the neighborhoods, but they're nice. They work. Web is far and away the better way to do it. Having a good website, a good landing page, working with us at REIA.biz, we will get you there on the website. It's very complicated. We can help you come up with innovative ways to make it happen. There's a lot of competition. Direct mail, that's nice too. Call, absolutely. Expired, listing, if you have a realtor who will work with you, there's number 1. Then you have ghost ads. These are things on Facebook. Need to buy 3-2 single families cash this market right now. On Craigslist, Facebook, LinkedIn, whoever, don't care. Ghost ads. Or I have a 3-2 to sell. Whatever, don't care. You want to get people calling you by putting up ads that may or may not have something behind it. Doing it with buyers is more dangerous than doing it with sellers because you'll piss a buyer off if you can't deliver. So, bringing people in the funnel is what we're going to teach you in next episode. We're not done here. I'm giving you an overview here. Once you get them in, we will help you move them through the funnel. This is the part we handhold you on. This is the part we teach you and kind of give you guidance, but this is really where you can be all over the place. However you get the leads in, we're fine with it, as long as it's done ethically. In here is where the community members of the Army are going to help you. So, before you go out and contact anyone, I need you to understand what we mean when we say ethics. And the first thing is, you are not a realtor. They have training, they have experience, they have certification, they have skills you don't have, and they have rules you don't necessarily need to apply to yourself. But they also have a brokerage firm and staff and insurance companies and lots of other things. So what you need to do ethically is you need to be honest at all times. You can say, I am a cash buyer. You cannot say, I am the buyer unless you have the money to do the deal yourself. Good example. This person I know is now spending some time as a guest of the state because he didn't properly handle this decision. He was dealing with a man with dementia. I don't know if you knew that or not. He promised to be the buyer. Not only did he not bring a buyer, but he took a deposit from a buyer and from the seller, which I still can't figure out, and didn't deliver the deal. Because the buyer he took the deposit on offered a number below what the seller was willing to accept. So the seller's family went to the district attorney, and lo and behold, this was a pretty disgusting case of bad ethics. You also have to always, always, always be clear in your contracts. Plain language, and we will help you by supplying you some contracts. We have some in our store, and we do have some that we give away as well. Plain language contracts. And or assigns. Always. Legally, this says you don't have to be the name on the end of the contract. Now, my contracts also have something in them that says I may not be the final buyer on the property, which is the other thing about ethics. Your clauses must be clear. What you're telling them and what you're hiding from them must all be disclosed. There cannot be anything predatory in what you're doing. Now, a lot of this sounds like baby food, but this is where people mess up. This is where people lose their, well, in this guy's case, freedom. Also, you be careful promising. I will buy your house. No. I'll examine it. I'll put it under contract, and I have a period of time to examine it and see if I can buy your house. Once you say I will, it's very possible a judge is going to hold you to that. Deposits. You will have to put them down at some point. Be ready to lose them. Condition. This is most important to the buyer. Don't tell the buyer the furnace is fine, unless you're a furnace expert. Don't tell the buyer there's no lead paint, unless you've run a lead paint test. Don't tell the buyer the roof is fine, unless you've been there in a rainstorm, and all you can say then is, I was here in a rainstorm and I didn't notice anything. You will be held liable for the promises you make. And we don't want you in the Army if you're going to make false promises. The other ethics is to remember on the sales side. When you walk through a contract, when you get a contract and you're selling it, wholesalers cannot sell houses. We sell contracts. The difference is this. As a realtor, I take a listing on a house. It's basically a marketing agreement. I offer to market this house. This is realtor. And I hope I can find Joe Handyman, his little hammer, to buy the house. Or Joe and Jane and the buyer to love the house. Not trying to be sexist, but whatever. As a wholesaler, I have a contract on a house. But I'm selling the piece of paper. Specifically, I'm selling the word assignable. So, what I have as a wholesaler is I have a purchase and sale agreement on a property. I don't have a marketing agreement. I will own it. And I'm selling the ability to buy it. That's the difference. If I'm selling a piece of property that I am not the deeded owner on, I damn well better be a realtor, because in most states it's illegal. The other ethics point is always be direct. You'll get a call from people who are selling property. Hi, I've got the Empire State Building for sale. $50. You want to buy it? Sure, show me your contract with the seller and I'll consider buying your property. Well, it's my partner that has the contract. Great, let's get on the phone with your partner. Well, it's not really my partner, he knows the guy. Great, let's get on the phone with the district attorney, because what you're doing is breaking the law. I will not deal with anyone. And I made this mistake recently. I trusted a guy, whatever. If they aren't on the deed or holding the money, be scared. That's not to say that the guy who knows the guy can't be helpful. You say, great, I'll give you a non-disclosure agreement, and we will get on the phone with the guy holding the contract, and we'll all share information, and we'll move forward in that way. It's almost never worth it on the smaller deals. It's almost never worth it. But don't work if you're not direct. Why? Let's say I had presented this gas station to my client. And my client had spent 20 grand researching that gas station. And then I'm not able to deliver the final deal on the gas station. You think my client's going to say, that's okay, you didn't know, no big deal, let's go do another deal? No. At the very least, I've lost myself a client. At the very most, my client's lawyers say, we acted in good faith following your words, and you didn't. We can prove 20 grand plus lawyer's fees, and we'd like you to pay them. And you know what most judges will say? Get out your checkbook, buddy, or start washing dishes, because you're going to pay that money back. This is why ethics are important. Now, how do you determine the motivation of a seller? You, again, remembering our funnel, we have all the static up here. We get the lead, which is the address. I love that little pointy thing they use for maps. And we do some Google searching. We do our basic numbers like we talked about earlier. So we come up with a number. And then we call the seller. Sometimes you call them up here too. All depends on the situation. The seller clarifies some information to us, so we revise our numbers. And then we make the offer. Now remember the math on offers. One deal happens from making 25 offers. You have 100 leads, becomes 25 offers, and that's an O, not a 0. Becomes one contract. And hopefully becomes one sale. And again, remember, we're all involved in this part of the process. Once you get below here, this is where the Army kicks in. We walk you through the rest of it. You're not alone up here, but you're a little more independent. In here, we are ready to support you every step of the way. Because this is where our money comes in. Alright, so enough of this really bad artwork on the virtual whiteboard. If I got a real whiteboard, it'd be even better. We're going to wrap this up by taking you on a tour of what we do with the REIArmy and also how we run numbers on a property. Or rather, how we launch a campaign. We're going to show you some sample campaigns. You've all seen this. This is our basic homepage flyer. Please, if you haven't done so now, sign up here. What we're looking for is people that will help us find the property leads, and we will fish the rest of the deal. We will hold your hand through as many deals as you need. More deals you work with us, the more money I make, so I'm great. My goal is that you make more than I do. Often, it's 60-40. We try to keep it above 45% for you. But you'll be doing the work. If you simply drop a name on me and leave, you'll be doing the work. Rather, if you simply drop a name on me and leave, you won't be making 45%. Real estate is a community business. We work to improve and save properties. It is cooperative. You will learn while you earn. Ethics are important because most people see us as scammers. We won't allow you to be scammers. Here's our ethics pledge. Please look at it, accept it, or don't be involved with us. Ranks in the Army. Every Army has ranks. You're a newbie, you start out here. We work you through phases up to here. And at each stage, you can add these stickers to your business card. We also offer profit sharing. Basically, this is our way of generating marketing money to help all of our students work deals. What do you get? You get first pick of the marketing leads, and you get 10% of every deal that comes of the marketing you contribute to. Check this out. It's really interesting. We have on our site some calculators. I will give access to some of our spreadsheets later, but you can use the flip, rehab, and rental calculator from here. I'm going to switch into, because I know my calculator is better on the spreadsheet, showing you the 3 most important spreadsheets in our business. Anytime you use these links, the first thing you do as soon as it resolves is you make a copy of it. Name it however you want, make a copy of it. This is the rental spreadsheet. Here's our units. Here's our average rent. Here's our total rent. Here are our expenses. Now it's very interesting. AGI is raw rent minus raw expenses. Now notice, if I do a 6% cap rate, this $16,000 is worth $272,000. If I do a 10% cap rate, it's worth a lot less. In my market, I'm generating cap rates like that. Or like that. You see my property values are going down, right? It works. Now, AGI is simply nothing more than rent minus expenses. In my terminology, NOI, AGI is adjusted gross income. NOI is net operating income. I've taken out my maintenance vacancy management pad. Now, some people use 0.3 and 0.3 and whatever. And again, your cap rate matters. If I'm only making $2,900 a month or $2,900 a year, that building's worth $29,000 to me. Now you see, I went from making $16,000 to making $2,000 because of how much I'm taking out in my caps. My cap shouldn't have been 30%, they should have been 3%. So at a 10 cap without the pads taken out is worth $163,000. A 10 cap with the pads taken out is worth $133,000. Minus my rehab and hold, and minus my wholesale fee. So let's say my rehab and hold is in both cases $13,000. I can only offer $8,000 here. Sorry, spreadsheet problem. I can only offer 115 here. I got how could it be 37 if I'm an MLS buyer? This guy up here is banking that nothing will go wrong. He's banking there's no rent, there's no lost rent, there's no nothing. Now the other one, the other two, very quickly. Is the flip spreadsheet. Very similar to what we talked about. 70% of my ARV, minus my repairs, minus my holding cost, minus my purchase cost, minus my realtor cost, minus my lender cost, minus my wholesale fee. There's my max offer. Magically, without even trying, it's about the same. And here's my rehab spreadsheet. Now these are being offered, these spreadsheets are offered as part of a subscription package, $25 a year, spreadsheets and contracts together. Real low. Real low. That offer is only as long as the COVID disaster is going on. That goes up to $100 a year after COVID. Now, the way these work is you fill in the green, only fill in the yellow if you know better. Don't touch the red. So windows. How many apartments need it? The average number of windows per apartment. Boom. This is a labor and materials number. Kitchens. How many apartments need the kitchen? How many kitchens per apartment? Boom. Boom. So you can see with these spreadsheets how easy it is to create your own solution and to get the details you need. Now, we're going to focus next time on the process of how all this comes together. But right now I wanted to show you the process of how we analyze whether it's a lead or a deal. Deal or no deal. Nothing is never not a deal. There's always fallback plans, but it's there. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go on Facebook, Craigslist, LinkedIn, Snapchat, wherever the hell you can find a place to do it. And you want to do something like this. In maybe not in somebody else's group. You might be better off going to your own main Facebook page or whatever. But you want to put out something that says boom. Post that everywhere you can. Get that out there. And always add cash buyer for homes, fast close, no inspections, call, email, etc. Finder's fees paid for leads. Basically, give me leads. Finder's fees paid for leads. You tell your friends, when's the last time you made $500 in 5 minutes? What do you mean $500 in 5 minutes? Find me a house, give me the name and address. When it closes, you make $500. Done. The reason we can do that is because here's how the math looks on a sale. Where we live, if the seller is at 25K and the buyer is at 30, that gives us 5K. If you're doing it right, you're spending less than an hour on this. I'm sorry, less than a day on this. So you're making $5,000 a day. Are you not willing to give somebody $500 for bringing you that deal? Hell, I'm offering to give you 2,000 of it, 2,500 of it. Of course you are. Now, the last thing we're going to cover, because you saw me write the words no inspections. And this is covered in our $25 a year subscription for documents. Is our contract. Contingencies. Once you give your deposit, these are the only ways you're getting your deposit back. If they don't provide the financials, if the contractor says it's a problem with the house, if title is not clear, if partner does not agree. So you're saying no inspections, but that doesn't see that does no one's going to walk through the house. You bring your contractor through. You're still protected. We have other protections. Should the partner or buyer's partner not approve due diligence, doesn't happen. If title is not begun within a certain number of days, you get your deposit back. In any case, the worst thing you're going to do is lose your deposit, which might be as little as $100, $10. And this one is key. Up here you see, I'm buying it and or assigns. Down here it makes it quite clear, if they read that far, what and or assigns means. Named buyer might not be final purchaser. This is how we're safe. So your assignment, until we meet again on Friday, is get ads out there. Get people paying attention. Get ready to bring some leads. On Friday, I'll show you what to do with them. Anyway, Steve, your multifamily specialist, 570-798-7051. I shouldn't have gone there. I should have gone here. Have a good night, everybody. 570-798-7051. We're ending the stream.